Alright everybody, welcome to the first video from the Mediocre Gamer. Today we're playing some Car Mechanic Simulator. Let's go ahead and... Ooh, that's tough. I think we gotta go ahead and sell this one. Alright, let's see what I got in the garage or in the parking to rebuild. Let's go with this Bolt Hellcat. If I'm thinking right, this one kind of looks like the new Challengers, or the old Challenger. That's got the old V8 in it. You know what? We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna move that one back to parking. We're gonna start out. Let's go to an auction. I've been playing the game for a while, so I've got plenty of money. I really don't have to do jobs anymore. I've got everything unlocked. I've got all the mod packs. So really, and then buying new parts. And putting it back together with new and upgraded parts. Let's see. You know what this looks like? Let's try to win this and hope it's not the W12 engine. That W12 engine is kind of a pain. I don't really see anything I like here. Okay, so we're back here at the garage. Didn't really see anything at the auction that I liked. So let's check out this Sakura G20 and see what kind of motor we got in here. Okay, well, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if... So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to swap the engine. I'm using one option, so, this really doesn't give me a good example of what I want to show you guys. Oh, dang it. Alright, let's move that guy back to parking, and, we'll pull this, when the lift is ready, we'll pull the Bolt Hellcat back out. This is a pretty cool car. It's an overhead valve V8. So it's kind of a pain, but it's not really too bad. See what this gives for options. What I like to do, rather than ripping this whole engine down, I'm really not going to use many of the parts that are there. So let's go press F1, the engine swap. Alright, let's go with the overhead cam supercharged. 456 horsepower. That's without performance parts. We're going to get way more than that. So I'm going to click empty swap because I want to put the parts in it that I want in it. So we'll start from there. And my motor is gone. Alright, so now I'm just going to finish pulling out what I can up here. Alright, we'll exit out of there. Alright, now we're going to start pulling the body pieces off. So we want to change this stuff anyway. Taillight, bumper, all this stuff will be fixed. Basically, we're going to restore the entire car. Alright, let's lift her up. what I'm going to start in the front here. And we are just going to start going crazy, unbolting everything. And we're just going to work our way back. Try to go as quick as I can possibly go. So this video isn't an hour long. Sure, we'll do some editing and cut it down to an acceptable length. I really don't like how it when you click on the part to remove it. I'm not a super big fan of it zooms in like that. I wish it would stay out. And maybe they'll get that in an update. That would be cool. If I want to zoom in on something, I'd rather do it myself, because this is slightly annoying. It's not terrible, but it's just kind of a little bit of a pain. Alright, I'll switch to the side, get these off of here. Really, the game here is, for me, is just see how fast I can strip a car down. Being somewhat mechanically inclined and having worked on quite a few cars over my lifetime, this game kind of lies to you a little bit. If only it were this easy to work on a car. I think everybody would work on their cars. From experience, it's not this easy. Let's get a good angle on that. Can we get those? Yeah, we can get way over there, but we can get them. And we'll get way up here for these guys. Okay. I'll get back here, get these mufflers, and like I said, I'm just working my way back. Wow, that was in your face. It's way zoomed in there. When it's zoomed out further, I mean, not only is it just not right in your face, you're able to move the mouse less to get these bolts off. And there are so many that being able to move the mouse a little bit less actually helps quite a bit. Your hand can get kind of tired with this game after a while. While you guys are watching this video too, let me know in the comments. Right now I'm playing this game on my Mac. I also have a Windows-based PC that I game on as well. Currently just waiting on some parts so I can finish that up. And normally I just use my Mac for editing, but since I have it and it is powerful enough, I figured why not get a jump start and get some video recorded. Well, where was I going with that? If there's anything you guys want to see, any games that you're curious in, that you'd like to see gameplay on, any suggestions on games that I should play or check out, throw them in the comments down below. You know, make sure you give the video a like and a share. You gotta throw that in. Everybody does. Alright. And I believe our car is completely disassembled. So we're going with technically a body off full restoration, but that's as much as you can take the body off. But it works. You get the idea. So we're going to go ahead and repair the car's body frame for $1,500. And look at that, all that rust. It is gone. Imagine that. Alright, let's go to the repair table. Like I was saying, I'm just going to start clicking on stuff. And, you know, whatever doesn't get repaired to 100%, is fine, because if it's not 100%, I would buy a new one anyway. So rather than buying all the parts new, you know, at least this way, maybe I'll have at least a couple I can use. But when you build the car up like this and do everything, every single part at 100%, it really, really increases the value of the car. Let's go ahead and start in the rear. I mean, it's pretty crazy what the game lets you sell some of these cars for when you're done. I wouldn't say it's unrealistic, but you can actually make quite a bit of profit. You know, once you grind it out and you know, get through quite a few of the customer jobs, so you can get some money built up and unlock everything. And you know, it takes you a little bit to get to this point, but once you do, you know, you can really start having fun with it. You know, you can buy stuff at the auctions and just kind of, you know, sometimes I'll take like a 4-star car at the auction and just go through it and see what's wrong with it, just like I would have in the customer jobs. And reselling it, you can make a few bucks, but nothing compared to what kind of return you're going to get when you fully restore the car. Alright, let's go ahead and put a gas tank in this thing. We need one of those, so we'll go into our template here. Go into fuel tank. I'm going to buy a couple. I like to, you know, whenever I buy a part, I like to buy a couple. The parts on this game are so universal in between cars that, yeah, you can really buy extra ones and it really doesn't matter. You know, as long as you have enough money to finish a car, you're good. Right here, that's the first performance part. First performance upgrade we're going to put in. Alright. Let's see what we got. These mufflers, we'll get those out of the way. Another performance part. I said I've got those on hand because I've bought quite a few. Let's see. Rear shock absorber B. We're out of those. So let's go to rear. And we shouldn't have to go too far. And we'll just buy a few of those. You know, some of these I know, I don't think we need them for this car, but I know I am out. So we'll just buy a few more, because we will end up using them either way. The only thing I'm not going to put on right away is wheels. So I'm thinking that we're going to want to put some aftermarket wheels on here. And And there's no point of putting them on if I'm take them off and put something else on. So once we have the car all put back together, I'll look at it and I'll scroll through the wheels and we'll see what I like and what I want to put on there. Alright. Alright, there we go. Our rear is done, I believe. Could be wrong, but I believe it's done. Yeah. There's always a chance you miss something. Happens more often than you would like, but it's pretty easy to figure out since they give you a nice list when you go into the work order for the car. Alright, so I'm just going to, actually, before I do this, before I put that front brace and stuff in, I'm just going to come up here and we're going to drop the block in here because this is an overhead valve V8. So let's just go OHV, and there's our engine block. Alright, so let's see what we can put in the top here. Let's throw a performance fuel filter on there, performance power steering pump. Let's throw performance alternator on there. Performance. That's the name of the game. This is one thing that I like to do right away, is this distributor. If you wait until you have your intake on, I'll show you what can happen here in a second here. You know what? We need to go to the performance shop. There it is. Let's buy a couple so we got them. I bet you there's some wires here too that we probably need. Okay. Put that on. We will put this rotor on there and the cap. Now at this point you almost kind of think you're done, but there's these clips, and the one in the back here, if you screw up and wait until the last minute to do the distributor, it's almost impossible to get to that clip. So that's why I just like to take care of that right away. There's your batteries. Buy a few of those. It's a universal part. Use it in every single car. Same part. Alright. So let's get under the car now, and I'll show you why I did that step first, rather than do the front suspension. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put this crankshaft in. Now if I did the suspension first, all this stuff would be in my way, blocking my view for these crankshaft bearings. It just gets a little annoying. That was my last one, so I bet if we scroll down here we can find these guys. There they are. And once again, universal part, so we're just going to buy a bunch. And this motor, I believe there's 3, so we'll get those in. Alright, and while we're under here, we might as well throw that fuel filter on there. And then from this point, let's get that front end back together. That cross member, come up, and you gotta make sure you remember about these rubber bushings. I've forgotten about them more than once. once you have the car back together, I mean, they're okay to get to, but it's just a little less aggravating if you do it while you're down here. The tie rod in. Alright, now we can start putting together our right side front. An outer tie rod. Alright, let's get these suspension arms. Looks like we're going to have to buy some for the other side. Bone shock absorbers are pretty universal. A lot of the parts are universal in between cars, especially the cars that are the original cars that kind of come with the game, rather than the mod packs. Always gotta make sure you remember about that center hub. That thing will mess with you. I've forgotten about that a few times and just can't figure out why it won't let me put a wheel on. Alright, so get over to this other side here. And let's focus on that tie rod. We'll get that in there. Alright. Front steering knuckle B. So open our tablet, running gear. Alright. And we'll buy a few of those, because we'll need them. Alright, and I'm not sure which one we need here, but we're just going to buy a couple. And we'll go all the way to the bottom, upper suspension arm there. Buy a few of those. And so a lot of the parts are universal. If you buy a bunch of extra parts, if you have the money, it's not really a big deal. The only problem I've run into, and it's not really even a problem, once you have over 500 parts in your inventory, the game kind of yells at you and tells you to sell some stuff for the game to run smoother. The only thing that I've noticed where the game really isn't run smooth is when it's loading the inventory, which I've never seen take more than, say, 3 seconds. So it's really not even a problem. I mean, yes, obviously the inventory would load faster if you didn't have all the stuff in there. But then you'd be going to your tablet every 5 seconds and buying parts. There we go. And we'll buy a bunch of those because we'll need, like I said, universal part. Huh. You know what? And I bought the rear ones, but that's okay too. That's okay. We need those ones too, eventually. Get that cap on there. That front end sway bar link. And take a spin around the motor. You know, while we're down here, I'm just going to go ahead and do this part too. This is one of the things that sucks about doing the motor swap, especially the empty motor swap. They steal your gear case. You know, really, if I thought about it, I would have took the gear case off before I did the motor swap. That would have been the smart thing to do, but, you know, what fun is that? Doing stuff the smart way. Like I said, this is the mediocre gamer channel, not the super awesome, I'm excellent at everything channel. Alright, we need a gearbox. V8 overhead valve. I think I have to remember that tip there, a little note to self. Remove gearbox before you do the empty engine swap. Here's another super universal part. The starter is the same starter on every single vehicle. Let's see if I can get an angle on this drive shaft to get in here. If we click on the muffler, it'll get us centered here. There we go. Ooh, those are in rough shape. So we'll buy a couple of those. So whenever it's a rear-wheel drive car, it's the same drive shaft. Another extremely universal part. Okay, so from there, I think our suspension is done. I may have missed a part or two, but we'll find that out shortly. Alright, so let's go ahead and build this motor. Start with the pistons, and you can see I've got the optional part, piston with connecting rod. Let's just drop right in, unscrew in. Which is kind of nice. On an actual motor, you have to put in 2 bolts on the bottom of every piston, and it would end up being just a lot more bolts. There's already a ton of bolts in this game that you have to put in, and I suppose it'd be a little more realistic if there was more, but I'm not too concerned about it. Alright. A couple of those, and we're off. Come on, you guys that made Car Mechanic Simulator. Update that where that doesn't zoom in every time you have to put a bolt in. It's extremely annoying. I'd rather just stay at one view. You know, there could even be a setting for it, but like I said, haven't really gotten that far. Let's see, we need some rockers. We need a whole bunch of these. Universal part. Pretty much every car uses it. And then we need some push rods. And we will just buy a bunch of those as well. Alright, let's get these rocker arms installed. At this point, you know, instead of flipping back side to side, I just kind of, you know, I'll put all the pistons in at once, but then once I get to the heads, I'll kind of build one side up and then I'll build the other. It just saves a little bit of time. And that's kind of the, I think that's kind of the key in this game. The more time you can save, the more vehicles you can do, and the more money you can make, and the more cars you can add to your personal garage. You know, it's just kind of cool. You know, look in the garage and see all the different vehicles you have, and take them to the drag strip. Just kind of fun. Right. Where are we here? Okay. HV. One of those. And one of those. Now, I put the spark plugs in first, just because the more stuff you get in here, I guess this one's not too bad, but some of them, those spark plugs can really get buried underneath a bunch of stuff. Let's take care of this timing chain real quick. And the cover, which we don't have. So we'll come down here, we'll grab a water pump. I think I'm out of those. We're supercharging this, so we're just gonna grab some stuff that I'm pretty sure I need. that's it there. We will go to the performance shop here though, and what am I looking for? Yeah, there we go. A couple of carburetors. I think that'll do it. Alright, let's get this bad boy on there. Big old timing cover. Big old water pump. Alright, now I believe we gotta get this crankshaft pulley. And the water pump pulley. Now we can start throwing some belts on there. Oh, what am I missing? See, we're missing something here. I know what we're missing. We're missing the supercharger. We're not there yet though. So we'll take a pause on that. We'll get back to it shortly. Alright. These push rods. I'll probably speed up through some of these on this side. Hey, look at that. We put some wires on. Throw this other head cover on. Or technically a valve cover, since it's covering the valves, not necessarily the head, even though it's on top of the head. Alright, bolt this massive intake in here. Alright, and a supercharger, just to make it ridiculous. Look at that, we can put some more belts on. That's it for the front of the motor. Kind of jumping all over the place here, but that's alright. Okay. So, before I forget, let's lift her back up. And make sure we throw an oil pan on there. Otherwise, when we go to put oil in it, it will yell at you and say, you can't do that. You don't have an oil pan. Alright, let's drop her down. Now, go back to the engine. Pull that oil plug, drop some oil in it. Once the can comes up like that, you're full. Alright, so now I'm going to go in here. So right now the value of the car is $43,000. All these parts are at 100%. Body condition 14, parts condition 19. So right now we're at 43. Still more than what I paid for the car at the auction. So we'll see. We'll put some body parts on here, but this is the Hellcat. So let's go into the tuner shop. I always like to check this first. This is a installed mod, so I'm just going to kind of buy one of each. I think I like those. I believe that's what I'm looking at right there in the picture, which looks pretty sweet if that's actually what it comes out like. So, what's that look like? No, we don't like that. We need some chrome. So we're going to go into the tablet and up here up to the body shop. And we will type in Hellcat. There we go. And I'm going to want the rear one too. So we'll just get that out of the way. No, there we go. Much better. I think when we paint this car, I think I kind of want to do it in black. Kind of black it all out. I think it'd look pretty cool. Ooh, good. Drop that down. Oh yeah. That scoop comes right out of there. It's pretty mean. Pretty mean looking. We need a door for our left side. There we go. We got a trunk? We need a trunk lid. Oh no. Let's do the bumper. Bumper first. Get a look at this. Let's see. Let's see what these look like on this side. You know, I think since we're going black on the car, black on the taillights. You know what? Let's just murder this out. Get rid of that bumper. Let's throw this painted bumper on. Yeah, really a fan of chrome, but sometimes you just gotta murder it out. Alright, let's see what I got for wheels in my inventory here. Oh, I think I like those. I think those are gonna work just fine. Oh yeah. Oh. Put that back on. Oh yeah. That's gonna look nice. It's kind of funny they call this a Hellcat. To me, this looks more like a Chevelle, and the Hellcat being a Mopar product seems a little weird to me. That they would have a Hellcat look like a Chevelle. You know, those silly copyright laws. Alright, so I know this is going to have a ton of power, so I'm going to go ahead and swap the tires. We're going to put some racing slicks on there. Alright, and let's move it to the paint shop. For black, he's going to drop that brightness all the way down. We're going to let that fly. And that is one mean looking car. Wow. Yep. I'm really liking that. Alright, so the verdict. We're going to put it on the dyno. But before we do that, the dyno doesn't really change its value at all. Just one of those cool things you can do. Value is 84,321 after we put that body together and got it all done. For fully restorating it, we got $26,000 bonus. Body condition 100%, parts condition 100%. So let's go ahead and move this to the dyno. We'll get in there and we will test it and tune it. We'll get a test run here. See what our base horsepower is. 787. This here, your goal is to hit 18%. And there we are. Once you get all three of these at the same level, if you're doing the ECU, there's 4 of them. Once you get them all at the same level, you can kind of just hit them up or down at the same number of clicks and get it up to that maximum. Now we're pulling 869 horsepower. That's a little bit of a jump. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Before we decide to do what to do with this car, we're going to go up here and we're going to take it to the drag strip. Alright, so we are at the drag strip. That was a pretty horrible start. She grabbed up pretty good. Still 10-second quarter mile, not bad. And we're going to top out at 263 kilometers per hour. Let's go ahead and return to garage. Alright. So I think we're going to go ahead and end the video here. If you like it, give it a like. If you don't, give it a dislike. If you think I suck, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. But it's a pretty obvious thing. It's right in the name of the channel. It's a little bit mediocre. Alright guys, until next time, the Mediocre Gamer.